So I usually don't film videos like this, but I've gotten a lot of requests for a makeup tutorial, so all of the makeup looks that I've been doing recently is basically what I'm going to be doing today, but toned down in different ways. So it'll be like the same look but without glitter. Or the contacts that I'm wearing right now are from Papa Kirst. I just put on the Laneige lip sleeping mask in Berry. This is my second one. It's really good. The next two steps I've already done because I went out earlier, so I'm not gonna reapply it. But I'm a huge skincare junkie. I feel like I would much rather spend a lot more money and time taking care of my skin than trying to cover up like the skin problems that I have with makeup. So I'm gonna include some of my skincare in this video. I'm gonna make a whole separate skincare video like later on. I was gonna do that today, but I don't feel that good about my skin right now. So in the morning I wash my face with cold water, and then I just go in with this moisturizer. This is different than the moisturizer that I use at night, just because this one's a little bit like, it's a little bit lighter, and it makes my makeup look a little bit better. And it's like a clear jelly and it smells so good. And then I use this Skin Aqua UV Moisture Gel with SPF 50+. This is super good. This is POC friendly. There's no white cast or flashback. I use the Ordinary caffeine solution. It kind of gets rid of that puffiness around your eyes, and then also eye contours. So especially for the days where like I don't get much sleep, especially as someone with insomnia, my eye contours, which is basically like the dark circles, it'll get like a lot deeper, and that's a lot harder to cover up because when you look straight forward it might be like gone, but then when you look down it'll get like really bad. So this just kind of helps with that. Normally I would use this 3-in-1 flat eyebrow pencil from Miniso in the color 07 Black, but it broke. So I bought this ColourPop Brow Boss. And it's nice too, it's just not as dark as that one. I like to just really lightly go on the bottom part of the front of my brow and just really lightly add a little bit more shape to that. You see how like now it has the foundation versus that? I'm gonna do that for both sides and just lightly brush it. And then for the ends, I like it to be like darker because my ends don't really have like a solid shape. I go in with a more heavy hand and I draw it the way that I would draw eyebrows in my portrait drawings. I just basically make the end come together because my hairs don't really do that, and then I draw it in the same direction as my hair growth. And for this eyebrow, it's a little bit lower than this one, so I'm just gonna go above it and make it look a little bit taller. Next I have this Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in Swan. I just go ahead and go over my under eyes, a little bit on the sides of my nose. Yeah, I also don't wear foundation because I don't like the feeling of makeup, even though I like putting on makeup. I'm using this Real Techniques sculpting brush. I know it's a contour brush, but I just like any like really dense shorter brush to blend in my face makeup. The places where I want more coverage I usually tap, and then the edges of it I usually like drag out. I leave my under eyes for last because the longer that you leave it on, the harder it is to blend, but the more coverage it has. And I bring it out like this. Just blending it out, I'm gonna show you guys. I kind of leave a space where I don't have concealer because that's where it creases And also when I blend it all the way up there, it kind of looks really odd, because I feel like, at least for me, if I just suddenly did not have dark circles, I would still have some sort of outline around my eyes, because I don't know if you can see, but I have like this little crevice here that's like darker. It's like an indent in my skin. So I feel like whenever I cover up too high up or like too close to my eyes, it looks really weird. And I just use my fingers to wipe it off my pores, because I feel like a lot of the times my makeup looks really weird on my pores, especially when I sweat. I go in with this Real Techniques Expert concealer brush, like a small version of the dense brush, the product on the edge, which has more coverage because it's a little bit more dried out. And I just look down and see the darkest part and add my concealer there. Whenever I cover blemishes, it's usually like aftermath of acne or scarring or discoloration, but when I have like a pimple that's still like healing or it's like coming up, I usually don't touch it with makeup, just because the more that you touch it, and like when you apply makeup to it, you have to like go in and really like clean it afterwards when you're taking off your makeup. And right now I have a pimple right here, but instead of covering it because it's like really red and it really hurts, I don't cover it up with makeup, I just let it heal. I'm using a pimple patch though, just to help it heal a little bit faster, and also helps me not touch it. And I don't use bronzer because I'm colorless, so bronzer looks really orange on me no matter how pale it is. Right now I'm using the NARS Laguna bronzer contour thing. I separate my cheek into a half. So the top half is the top of everything, is where the middle of my eye is, and then the bottom is my jaw, and in the middle I take the excess and put it on my temple and then a little bit on my jaw, and I just do like the slightest sweep with the excess right here, just so that it kind of like blends. Okay, my face is kind of flat, so I'm gonna add a little bit more contouring. I'm gonna take the same contour on this little fluffy eyeshadow brush. It's not like super fluffy, so like it doesn't go everywhere. So I like to do it under my lip, because when my lip is resting, you can kind of see a shadow right here. If you accentuate that shadow, it makes your lips look fuller. And then I do under my nose right here. I'm gonna do just one side so you guys can see. I'm gonna go right under my eyebrow and accentuate that shadow. Keep in mind, like, I'm saying accentuate instead of make, because I'm trying to enhance what I have, not like make something new out of it. And I think when you switch from that approach to makeup into like enhancing your features, your makeup will look a lot better on you, and you'll also feel a lot better when you don't have makeup on, if you feel like you depend on makeup to feel good about yourself. I do that. I don't do too much because it kind of looks ridiculous from the side. And when I look forward, you can see this little highlight and this little highlight right here naturally. And when I contour the sides with the extra that was left, I just go like right next to it. And then for highlighter, I like using this little sparkly goldish pink shade. I really like gold pinkish undertones because the pink complements the blushes, and then the golds complement my complexion. So you see that little highlight on my nose naturally? I'm just gonna put it like literally right on top of that and then blend the edges out. I don't want to put a lot on, just that little spot. Some on my nose bridge, just like right here, and blend it out with my other fingers, and then on my eyebrow thingy. a little bit, and you can kind of see the highlight right here. I just put it right on top and I blend it out really lightly. Go in and just tap the inner corners. Now for my eyeballs. I'm gonna move you guys a little bit closer so that you guys can kind of see this, but I'm gonna take that color and put it all over my eyelid. I usually limit my eyeshadow to only up to here and not over here, because when I put so much on, it engulfs my eye. I'm not gonna say that it makes my eyes look smaller, because having small eyes is not a bad thing. And same goes for the under eyes. So the same indent that I was talking about before, I limit my eyeshadow to that indent. So my eyeshadow doesn't really go past those indents. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this other eye. And then I'm gonna take the brown on the same brush. I'm gonna just put it on the outer corner, really close to my eyelashes. They're practically on my eyelash line. And then I'm also going to take some of it and put it right on the edge right here where that indent is. And then I'm going to take the gold color on my fingers and just swipe it really gently over the first half of my eye. Next, eyeliner. The reason that I do this is because this is like one of those small details that adds a lot to your makeup look. And especially when you're putting on eyeliner, it gets rid of that like weird gap between your eyeliner and your eyeball. I take this e.l.f. eyeliner in coffee, so I continue my eye shape just by like a centimeter, and then I start to slowly bring it up, kind of like this, and then I just connect it to the rest. So it kind of like lifts your eye gradually instead of just like lifting it. So I just follow it and then start curving it upwards, and then I bring it in really lightly. I go on the corners of my eyes and just add a little bit of flare. I basically draw on extra lashes on the edge, but I leave like a little gap. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes from the root. Is my favorite mascara. This is my second one. I usually don't ever repurchase mascaras because I never really liked a mascara this much. But this is the HEROINE Make Long and Curl Mascara. Super waterproof. And this is super waterproof. But this is the only mascara that holds my curl, and actually, like, especially as a person with monolids, when you have monolids and your eyelashes are curled, the fat from your eyelid like makes it straighter, but this actually holds it and it's not clumpy. I try to focus a lot of the product more on the ends than at the root, because when I put it at the root it kind of like weighs it down. Not weigh it down, but it just doesn't hold as well as it does when I just try to make it look a little bit longer. Like, that's another thing that's nice about lining your waterline, is that there's no like weird gap, and you don't have to put much product at the base, so it's easier to take off, and you're not going to poke your eye out, and it's not going to weigh out your... I don't know what color this is because I rubbed it off, but it's one of those like cushion applicators. You can't see it, but it's like this nice peachy pink color, and it's like a velvety texture. If I want to go for like something more pink and more of a lip color, I like the MAC Velvet Teddy. I'm almost done with this. It's like a little bit darker pink, the one at the bottom. This one's nice too. I've been using this since high school. I use this for my high school grad pictures. But it's two-sided. and it has like it's these last two colors. And then the last lip color I have, I actually broke, and it's kind of broken still, but it's from Miniso. It's a lot darker than the rest, but this is the one that I use the most for streaming. Yeah. I'm gonna put the darker e.l.f. color in the middle. The only other things that I didn't do for this video is this liquid eyeshadow glitter thing, but I would usually just put this like where I put that stuff in my inner corner and like right below it in the beginning, but I don't like how this feels, and it also doesn't stay on, and it's also really patchy, so I'm not gonna recommend it. I use decorative eyelashes, but basically what I do is I cut them into 3 pieces and then I put them on my eyes just because I think it looks a lot better that way, and especially it helps with like the inner corner lifting. Too lazy to do my bangs, so this is the look.